I guess we can talk instead of just pose.
It'll only be a second.
So, what was
Like
I
sweating.
asking?
Can you see me sweating?
I'm sweating too. Well, the jacket was a good idea, like this morning, but no longer.
I know,
It
what
was
a-
a good idea.
Good idea this morning.
It was never a good idea.
Well, at 6 a.m. it was really cold.
Cold.
Well, I mean, maybe not cold compared to anywhere else in the world, but cold to what we're used to.
Florida.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't cold. He's making that up.
I'm not making that up.
All right, so I'm ready. Go for it.
Rolling?
Yep, rolling.
Well, I was just gonna ask you, just keep it like conversational about the people that you normally interview, like with video cameras and stuff going around. What made you start doing that originally?
Because I kind of got bored with people asking me the same questions. And so I kind of felt like fans have heard my answers to these questions for so many years, and the answers are not changing. And I also felt like the actors were tired of answering these questions. So it's like, if I were to ask them stuff that maybe reporters would be too scared to ask them because I know them so well, it'd be easier for them to answer. So it's like, oh, I'll be the Barbara Walters of the horror genre, basically. Make them cry and find out all their weird habits and kick you to that. So yeah, so I don't know, just out of boredom.
Who here at this convention right now do you find like interest in that you want to go interview? Anyone you want to talk to or ask
You know,
questions
it's
to?
hard because I usually don't have time to do it, and then by the time I do have time on Sunday, I don't want to bother them because I
Really?
feel bad, even though like they're my friends. Like I still haven't really interviewed Robert England, but I can call him at home and and hang out and go grab tea with him. Like that'd be a cooler interview than me sitting and talking to him for 5 minutes at a convention.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people can get a chance to do that and talk to him about stuff that's not horror related, that has nothing to do with Freddy Krueger or Hatchet or whatever, So like like wherever I travel, he's found some great bed and breakfast or some amazing restaurant or about music or books or whatever it is. He's so well versed in that he could probably do a travel show. Maybe I could have Robert England's travel show on my website. I mean, that kind of stuff that you don't ever really realize that that's who he really is. So I think that's really cool.
That is really cool. Who have you interviewed that you have been like most intrigued by? Is there someone that's like a hero to you that you were like, oh man, I can't believe I'm going to talk to this person?
I'm always scared to go to those people. I'm actually kind of scared to go to everybody because I don't want to bother them.
Really?
Yeah. And then once I do, because I say, oh, I have this website, I'm doing these interviews, would you mind doing with me? And they're like, sure. And then they think it's going to be the same thing, and then I'm like, I start asking them really random things, and by the end, by 2 minutes into it, they get really excited to talk about something different.
Mm-hmm.
They like perk up, and then at the end, they're like, that was really fun, I really liked that, that was cool. So actually, I should probably get Lisa Wilcox, who's a friend of mine who just came over to talk to me, and Heather Langenkamp. I could probably get them while I'm here.
Awesome. Have you talked to them before? Are you friends with them?
I'm friends with both of them, yeah.
Really?
Again, like I'm friends with them, so it's like I kind of don't want to bug them at a show, but I think they'll be.
But I feel like they'd be
with
more
it.
inclined to say whatever if you just threw a camera in their face.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I'm cool with people come up to me at the table and like, can I interview you? I'm like, yeah, that's totally cool. So I don't know.
What's the
It's
weirdest
kind of
question you've ever been asked? Has anything ever like thrown you off? Like, oh, well, I'm not gonna answer that.
Yeah, this guy at the show today. Every weekend by Sunday, you're like, okay, here's the list of retarded things people have said to me all weekend.
What's your list?
Well, I pretty much, I love the comment like, oh, I hated Rob Zombie's Halloween and Halloween 2. That movie was awful. And it's like, thanks so much. That's super cool. And you kind of just nod your head, And then this guy, I feel bad because if he sees this, but maybe he will know next time. He's going to come up to me now if he sees this next year and be like, I know that I offended you, because I sort of grin and bear it. He said to me, a really nice guy too, said to me that he basically gives me props for wanting to take my top off in Rob Zombie's Halloween because my breasts are small. And
I think he deserves to be outed on this video. If that's the case. That's what he's asking.
And he was like, I give you a lot of credit for wanting to do that without having, breasts. And I was like, yeah, cool. And then I think it was the same guy or another guy. There was another guy that came up and asked to take a picture of me holding me, like a baby.
Like a baby?
Yeah, like a baby.
Like cradling you?
Yeah. His friend dared him, and then I was like, oh, I've been asked that a few times, probably about a dozen times in my life. I think because they think of me, right? They think of me as a kid still, It's very weird. And I'm like, no, not gonna happen. And then he said, okay, well, will you you take a picture with me and sit on my lap? No.
Interesting you say that. Do you know Gary Busey at all?
I just met him actually here.
We went to him yesterday to ask if he would be interested in doing an interview.
Yeah,
and he said
probably said no, right?
He said he would do it for $5,000 if the girl that was with us would sit on his lap.
While he was doing it?
While he was doing it. I didn't know how to respond to that, so we're not doing the Gary Busey interview. That was the oddest response I've had to an interview request.
Yeah, he's a little crazy, but God, is that man talented.
I've got a random question. If you could have any superpower, what superpower would you want to have?
I go back and forth on this all the time because I've actually thought about it because I thought, oh, I'd love to hear people's thoughts. Then I probably wouldn't want to hear their thoughts. Because I didn't like them. I guess I would transport myself back in time.
To be a time traveler?
Yeah, I'd be a time traveler.
What kind of rules would you have to follow if you were traveling through
No
time?
rules. If I get to make up my own superpower.
What would you do if you could travel through time? Like, where would you go to? Would you go to like somewhere in your own lifetime?
In
and
my
see
own
yourself?
lifetime, yeah. I don't want to see myself. I would want to be myself. I don't
Be
want to be
yourself.
on the outside of it. I would want to go back as
Oh, so you want to go
age.
back and live that time, not
Yes.
go back and see yourself in that time.
Right.
What would you do that would be different if you could go back? Why would you want to go back to yourself?
You know, honestly, just like I love this movie called really? Peggy Sue Got Married.
Yeah.
Had like space up for a second. Love that movie because there's a scene that always makes me cry when she goes back and she's in her house and her grandmother calls her and she's like, Grandma, is it you? Because her grandma passed away obviously when she was older, so I thought, God, if I can go back and get to spend some time with my family that's passed away, I would love to do that. But I wouldn't want to know that they were going to pass away. That's why I want to go back as myself, and as in that moment, then seeing it and being sad about it.
Would you take any knowledge with you that you have now back to that time?
That would just ruin it.
Think so? So you just want to go in your...
Yeah.
Interesting. I guess
Pause.
you would just...
Need to move something.
Alright, we're talking about time travel. Is there like an era that you would want to go to after that? Is there any like... If you could go to any time period in history.
The 20s would be pretty amazing, I think.
Why the 20s?
Women were so classy. Men were such gentlemen. Jazz. I mean, it was just I don't know. It just looks amazing. I mean, there are lots of other things going on that probably weren't so amazing that I don't really want to go through. It'd just be for like a day.
Just for a day?
Just for a day.
What would you do in that day? Would you go like swing dancing and...
I'd probably go to some jazz bar, some blues club, go dancing with some Navy SEAL, some military man that was just super cute, and I don't know, smoke cigarettes and filters and wear a hat and have fishnets and just be a lady.
That would be awesome. Now I'm trying to think of a question. Something I'm interested in is... Hi. Movies that you've seen recently. What are like the 3 best movies that you've seen recently?
Oh gosh. 3 best movies I've seen recently. I loved Cyrus. John C. Reilly, Marissa Tomei, loved. I walked out of there and went, God, it's been a minute since I've seen a movie that was different than anything that I had seen before, that had everything in it. And I left going, this is why I'm an actor. I want to do movies like this.
What made that movie so great?
The acting was phenomenal. The story was great. It wasn't a fairy tale. It was really real, and I liked dark comedy, but there was also elements of, it was all about the relationships. I just thought it was great. I mean, I knew nothing about it, and I went in and just thought, oh my God. I wanted to see more of it. I was so lost in their world, which is hard, you know, as an actor and as a filmmaker to get lost in their world. So I just loved it. Loved it. Have you seen it?
I have not seen it yet.
Oh, it's so
I
good.
will now, though.
So good. Let's see what else. I mean, Get Up to the Greek, I thought was really fun.
I haven't seen that one
Really
yet.
funny. I loved it. I thought in the first 15 minutes I was like, oh, okay, I've seen this before, and then it totally changed for me. I thought it was really fun.
Really?
I don't know if it's best top 3 movies that I've seen this year by any means, but I had a great time. I mean, I want to go see Jackass too, but I've got a thing for Bam, so I was tweeting the other day like, do you know if he's still married? Like when I'm home alone and I'm depressed or stressed out, I will get online and I will look up Fülle Cr and I will sit on YouTube and just laugh my ass off. I hope I'm gonna probably bite my tongue when I see this in 15 years, but I hope that my kids, when I have kids, fuck with me the way that he fucks with their parents. And then they just love him and laugh at him, and his mom's always like, bam, bam, you know, so I just love it. Supporting their kids' creativity and lunacy, I love it. Let's see what else. Let the Right One In remake of, well, whatever you want to say. I mean, I love Kick-Ass too. She was thick, I thought it was great. Again, a movie that I had really little expectations and went in and just thought, God, this movie's so fun. I don't know, what have you seen this year that you loved?
Inception was awesome.
I did not see it, no.
It was amazing.
You know, I just felt like I didn't want anything heavy. Eat, Pray, Love, I loved.
Eat, Pray, Love was really good.
Yeah. I don't really buy Julia Roberts' being broke and single because she's Julia Roberts. She's beautiful and rich.
Right.
And I love her, but it really made me want to travel.
Really?
I'm so tired of traveling, but...
Yeah, most people that saw the movie like really wanted to travel after seeing it.
I got an argument with after I saw the movie with somebody about I still have this fantasy of like a man on a white horse whisking me away to, you know, forever and Neverland and you know.
Have you thought about
living
making like a fantasy movie like that? Would you do that? Would you do like a romantic fantasy? Or do you feel like that's too far out of your?
No, I mean I'll do anything as long as the script is good and I know I would have fun and the character inspires me, and I haven't done it before, for sure. I just think it sort of, movies like that sort of ruin it for us girls. You know,
really?
it's like fairy tales. I was talking about this with someone the other day. It's like little girls are read fairy tales when they're babies, and we expect that to be real as adults. And you're waiting for your man to whisk you away on his big horse and save the day, and then just glorify. I don't know. And then men never live up to that.
So do you think that those things that you saw as a kid, have they affected your relationship? Yeah, your dating life?
Yes. Because it's not real.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist. People are human. And I think that you fantasize and you think, well, wait a minute, isn't it supposed to be like this? And where we base that on is movies.
Yeah.
And, you know, books and stuff that's just not true.
With guys, it's like the emotional part of girls. And everyone has these unrealistic expectations.
Well, you know, to be quite frank, there's, you know, obviously I'm not 15 and I've had boyfriends, and there's been times where you're like, wait a second, where did you watch that? Because you're not, and you expect me to do what? Like, you know that they're not, that's not the way relationships are. I mean, sure, you know, whatever, but this idea, like, wait a second, not all girls are like that. I'm sorry. What?
No,
And how can we live up to that expectation? I mean, it's the same thing with magazines, you know, with guys expecting their women to be 80 pounds and 6 feet tall and be perfect. You know, we all have our flaws. Everyone's got cellulite. Every woman needs to shave. Everyone, like, you know, get your brows done, your hair highlighted. Like, they see the after. They don't see the real, and then they look at you and they're like, wait a second, that doesn't look like what I think women should look like. Well, that's what a real woman looks like. Sorry, hate to break it to you.
So, what are your thoughts like on relationships and marriage? I mean, is that something that you want? Because
Yes.
I feel like a lot of people nowadays don't really think of like marriage and children as something. It's something that they might eventually get to, but something that people dread more than when
That's
our parents
really
were young. They were like
sad.
married when they were 19
I know.
and having kids.
My
when
mom was
you know.
married, divorced, married again, divorced again, 3 kids, and like by the time she was my age, like,
Really?
oh yeah. There's definitely that scare of like, I'm 33 and like, oh my God, am I really going to be 40 when I have my first kid? Am I really going to be like at the doctor, like needing help to get, you know? My sister works for a gynecologist's office, and she was like, oh, I forget what she called it, but once you're 35 and over, you're like in a special category of like, I don't know what the terminology is, but she's like, oh yeah, all the rules change once you get to be over 35. You're more like a high risk pregnancy because you're in older age. It's like, wait, what? It's nuts. Oh, I believe in marriage. I want to have kids. That's why I don't have a boyfriend right now, because I've been dating for the last year since my ex and I separated. My next boyfriend will be my husband. I mean, I really do. Yeah, I don't have time to mess around anymore. I want to have kids. I love kids. I want to have kids so badly. I just want it to be the right thing. My friend Kimberly McCullough, who I one of my best friends goes, look at it that when we complain about being in our 30s and not ever being married, she's like, look at it this way, we managed to skip our first marriage. And I was like, oh, that's so right. So hopefully when we do it now, it'll be forever. I don't know how I feel about forever either.
Really? What do you mean by that?
There's a part of me that thinks that, I don't know, constant marriage was created when, in forever till death do us part, when people would only live till like 35 or 40 years old, when they had to spend like 10 years with each other. I could understand 10 years. I could do 10 years monogamy. I don't know after 10 years.
Well, it's amazing because think about how much you've changed in the last 10 years.
Oh my God.
And
if I would have married anybody that I would have been with before now, we would be divorced by now. Anyone that I'd ever dated.
Do you think that is a matter of like, do you think you can grow together and continuously be happy, or do you think that, do you feel like restrained from being able to grow into yourself, having someone else doing the same thing along with you?
I think it depends on who you marry. I think that I saw Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith on Oprah a couple weeks ago, and they had this great thing where they were like, we have our family as far as like husband, wife, and kids, and we also have our life as like our careers, our how did she put it? Like our business plan as far as marriage. We've got that, and we've got our business plan as far as family. Like we are an enterprise, and I want to be someone that I can create business with and that with as well as the family stuff. I don't want to just be someone's mother, someone's wife, someone's like I want a partnership. I don't know. There's also that part of me that thinks that men were here to breed. Like like if you think about it, I hate to say it because I do have faith that people can be monogamous forever, but I'm a bit of a realist too. And I don't know if that really is 100% true. If we can be for 20 years. I don't know. I mean, if people say, I'm married 65 years, I never had an affair, I don't believe you.
Really?
I just don't. Maybe. And, maybe I'll get hate mail from this. And I hope that that's true. I really do. I hope that my grandfather was faithful. I hope that my great-grandfather was faithful. And my grandmother. I'm not going to put it on men. Women are just as bad. And I don't really know.
And culture is so much different now, too.
Right.
Which has a huge thing to do. It's a lot easier. I don't know if it's necessarily easier to find yourself in a position where you could cheat on someone, or if it's that people are just, the people that would naturally do it are more easily exposed because of Facebook and MySpace and all these things that...
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like a friend that is really funny, I guess they were talking about, there's rumor about Beckham and Kutcher and like all these other guys. Now people are coming out, like these prostitutes that were paid are now coming out and speaking and selling their stories. And my friend said something so great. She was like, if these bitches get paid 10 grand to fuck them, like, keep your mouth shut. Like, you're getting paid to shut up, and you're going to take their money, and then you're going to sell the story? Skank. Skank. So, I don't know. I feel like women are to blame, too. It's like, women always, like, people are always like, why do you go after the other woman? Well, because if these women know that these men are taken, if the opportunity wasn't there, if they didn't let it happen, men are always going to try. And if women don't lay down and go, sure, you got it, then it probably wouldn't happen as much. If we didn't let it happen, you got it. It's like sisterhood. Like, you just don't do that to other women. I'm sorry. I mean, why don't we stick together? And, like, you don't want it done to you. Why would you do it to somebody else? I hate women like that. I hate cheaters.
No, this might be too personal of a question, but have you ever been close to marriage or close to...
No, I mean, I talked about it. Oh, sure. I've talked about it. I've wanted it. Planned it in my head, looked at rings and the whole thing. But I've probably come closer to thinking about it than they came closer to actually doing it.
What kind of wedding would you have? Like, what is your ideal?
I don't understand people that spend $30,000 or $50,000 on a wedding or more and rent an apartment. That makes me completely irate. You're gonna spend $50,000 and rack up all this debt on a fucking party, but you don't own a condo or a mobile home? I mean, I don't care. Like, what? What's wrong with people? It's a party for everybody else. Was it really worth it? And then you get divorced a year later? Really? So I'm a big fan of, like, I'd rather see someone take that money, buy something, and have the damn wedding on their property. Why not? Have their friends. It's all about music and food for me. So it's like, have their spending $20,000. I watch like platinum weddings on TV and stuff like that, and I see like, oh, bill for flowers $38,000. You're like, Oh my God. I don't care how much money you have. Like, that is just insane to me.
It is.
I don't know, put the money away for your kids, for school, or I don't know, I've got lots of thoughts. So mine would be more about, like, if Lionel Richie could come play my wedding for a half an hour, and that cost me $30,000, and I had tons of money, like, that would be more important to me than having it at some big estate and, you know, wherever, in some, you know, ice sculptures and retarded flower arrangements. But they're just going to take at the end of the day anyway. They take it back, you know, so I don't know. It's all about music and food for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Another random question, going all the way back to superhero powers. Who's your favorite superhero? Do you have like a favorite? Did you grow up?
I grew up watching Wonder Woman.
You did, like the live action TV show?
Sure, yeah.
Why Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I guess it was the only chick aside from like Batgirl, you know, it was on, I guess, cartoons, but it was the only live action. I mean, there was Hulk and Wonder Woman, so it was kind of like, Wonder Woman, she kind of looked like my mom, and, you know, we would watch it together, and I would dress up like her for Halloween, and so that's sort of who I would be.
Did you grow up watching cartoons too?
I did.
What were you obsessed with?
I did. My grandpa and I always used to watch Looney Tunes together. He almost went and drew for Walt Disney. I would like the Smurfs and Muppet Babies and the Flintstones
awesome.
and the Jetsons and remember the Snorkels?
Swim along with the snorks.
Snorks, not Snorkels, right? The
No,
Snorks.
it started off as
The
the Snorkels,
Snorkels, right?
and
then
then they
it went
got
to
hip
the
and they
Snorks.
turned them into the Snorks.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Loved it. I had Snorks toys in my bathtub.
Me too.
You did?
Oh, yeah, I had all that stuff. I used to collect the Smurfs. I had this wood thing in my grandparents' house, and I'd buy all the little figurines. I think I might still have them somewhere in a baggie or something.
I love that. I was obsessed with Fraggle Rock.
Love Fraggle Rock. It was on after the Muppet Show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like Muppet Show was 7, Fraggle Rock was 7:30, then I had to go take a shower and go to bed. That's what I remember about growing up. My grandma had to turn the shower on. When I got back to my room, the light in the closet was red and the fan was going. That was my childhood.
Projects that you've been working on lately. Is anything standing out to you as like something that is like, wow, this is something I'm really proud of? This is something
Stakeland, actually.
Stakeland.
Stakeland. I mean, Hatchet 2 is just so badass. There's been so much going on with that movie. I'm almost tired of talking about it because I'm disappointed that we got pulled out of the theater, you know, when nobody really had a chance to see it. Kind of bummed out
It
about
was in theaters in Orlando for a day.
Yeah.
For one day.
Yeah, it was in theaters everywhere for like a day, and then
Really?
it disappeared. Yeah. I don't really know the logistics behind it as much as I don't know. I've heard like, oh, they weren't making a lot of money, and then kids were sneaking in underage. There were cops outside of doors. Like, I don't understand. It's like they got the wrong movie. I don't know what the big deal is. It's Hatchet 2. Really, people? It's fun. It's funny. Like, I don't know. It's very strange to me. We tried really, really hard to change horror, and we did the best we could. You know, we'll see what happens. So that on video on demand. I'm excited for people to actually see it because I've been talking about it for so long. But Stakeland is this movie I did with Jim Mickle, who I adore, and Larry Fessenden, and Dark Sky, same distributor, who I just love those boys. And it's a post-apocalyptic road trip vampire movie that we shot in upstate New York last year, and it's with Dick Demichi and Kelly McGillis, Connor Paolo, and it just looks beautiful. It's such a great story. We won the Toronto International Film Festival, the Audience Choice Award for
Awesome.
Midnight Madness, which is huge because there's huge movies that are there. So for our, you know, small independent movie to get such acclaim is like, I'm just glad to be part of it. And I'm not running and screaming and yelling. I play Belle, who's like the mother, the caretaker of the boys, and very soft. And I'm a blues singer in a bar, and it's kind of got this western feel to it.
That's awesome.
And I've got this big belly, and I'm hiking through the mountains, and it's just really pretty. It's really nice. So I'm really excited about that.
I saw you're doing a movie right now with Leah Thompson. Have you started filming that yet?
Yeah, we did it. I only worked for a little bit on that. Leah Thompson and John Shea. It's a drama, so I'm a huge Back to the Future fan. So I was like, oh, Leah Thompson, oh my God. I totally starstruck when she came around the corner and introduced herself to me. I was just like, oh my God.
We interviewed her last year
Here's
and was
Mom.
so nervous. I was like,
She's so cool.
She's so laid
and John
back and so
Shea,
cool.
I just love. He's a great actor. Love him.
Now, speaking of those horror movies, when is your website? How far along is your website? Is it getting close? Is it?
Yeah, it's done, except I have to just load everything, and I've been traveling so much, then there's that part of me that's like, I've got all this stuff that I'm doing, I want to get that content, like I want to get that on video and put it up there and have stuff, so when I do disappear for 4 months to go work on something, there's new stuff to constantly be added. It's not just going to be another day on set of the same movie that I'm working on. So it's just me compiling everything and pulling out old footage from old VHS stuff and transferring it so that I can get it onto DVD, then I can get it into my computer, then I can get it over. So it's, and I'm not computer savvy. So I'm literally in there going, WordPress domain, GoDaddy, wait, what do I need to buy? It's that bad. It's so hard, so I need some help. I really need help in many areas in my life. But that's a big one. But I'm working on it. I know, and I don't want it to be I'm a perfectionist, so I don't want it to go out without being like awesome. Because you'll come visit it once and they're gonna talk shit and be like, oh, I waited 2 years for this crap, blah 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 blah. So whatever, if you say that, then fuck you. I don't care, then don't come back. They're the ones that are gonna come back and constantly write on my boards. Like, for example, I don't even have like a forum. I'm like, guys, where's my forum? How are people gonna write? Like, how do I know what they think if there's not a forum? So I'm just still working on getting stuff together.
That's cool. One last question.
Yeah.
If you could work with, well, A, any director, B, any actor, what would be like your dream team?
I'm dying to work with Tarantino. He's a friend of mine, and I hope he writes just such badass women. I mean, it's Tarantino, you know.
Yes.
And I hope one day he casts me in something that's just like killer, like the role of a lifetime, because it's him.
So how good of friends are you with him? Are you like?
We're good friends.
Really?
Yeah, we're good friends. Yeah, he just emailed me the other day, and his editor passed away, so he's kind of going through some stuff, and he just said he's proud of me and he's going to watch Hatchet this week, and I said, he and Eli Roth, who's also a good buddy of mine, and I said, if you guys get a copy of it, which I'm sure he will be able to, if anyone's going to get a copy of the film, it would be him. So I said, if you get a copy, you better watch it with me, because I want to be there when they watch it. But there's definitely times where I'm like, oh my god, I'm sitting watching a movie with Quentin. We watched Shampoo together. He has all film stuff, so it's like, what do you want to watch? It's been a while, I haven't seen it for so long.
So have you been to one of his movie parties where he plays like the trailers and stuff?
No, just he and I. I've been to just he and I at the house.
Really?
Yeah. Having margaritas and watching movies and hanging out.
That's really cool.
I haven't done any of the party stuff.
What's your favorite movie by Quentin Tarantino?
God.
Or can you even pick?
Oh. I really can't. I mean, True Romance, Pulp Fiction, I mean, Death Proof, like I was cheering.
Death Proof was incredible.
Incredible.
And didn't get the respect that it deserved.
They should have separated them. They should have been two different movies. That's why. Because I was like cheering for Kurt Russell. God. I honestly, like, I don't. Maybe Reservoir Dogs. Dusk Till Dawn. All of them. They're all like. What has he done that's bad?
Nothing. Not a thing.
They're all amazing. He's badass. So I definitely want to work with him one day. I will. One day.
Did you get to talk to...
But I don't even like to talk to him about movies. I like to talk to him about like other stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like, it's like my website stuff. Like, I don't want to sit and talk to Quentin Tarantino about his movies. He gets asked enough about his movies. Yeah. I want to talk about his family and, childhood, and I want to tell him about my life and get to know him as a person, and not what he does, but who he is. Well,
speaking of family, do you have all of your family in town right now for the convention?
They all live here.
Oh, they all live in Orlando?
And no, they live all over Florida.
Really?
They all like come together and hang out with me over the weekend.
So,
insane. Grandmother, mother, sister. I have an aunt and uncle. 1, 2, 3 cousins. One of my cousins is married, so she's also my cousin, Amanda, and then their kid. And then there's a whole gaggle of us.
Really?
Yeah. It's the only time I have, like, family time.
And didn't you say this is, like, the first time you've seen them in, like, a year?
A year, since this convention last year.
We were just talking about that over lunch, how crazy it is that you can go a whole year without seeing your family. But when you're a kid, you never consider going that long without seeing them.
But it's the same. As soon as you see them, you're like, oh, now I know why I have It's just like you pick right back up where you left off, I miss them though. I miss the normalcy, I miss, like, I don't know, my sister and I went to the after party the other night, and we had a couple of drinks and came back into the room, and it was so much fun because she was teaching, I don't get to see them, so she was teaching me how to make yourself burp, because it's just my younger sister in bed. And then my mom and grandma, we're all sharing a room. My mom and grandma were in the bed next to us, and my grandma's snoring so loud, and my mom's yelling at my sister and I to shut up and go to sleep. So it was like we were kids again, you know. I was like, shut up, go to sleep. God damn it. And my sister and I were like giggling under the covers, but she's 26, I'm 33, you know. So, it's fun. I miss that stuff.
There's something comforting just going back, just going all into the same room again. Like it
Yeah,
feels like,
it's normal. You know, it feels like home.
yeah.
It is home. But it's in a hotel room in Orlando, Florida.
Welcome home.
Thanks.
All right, I think that'll be good. I think
Awesome.
I don't even know how long that was. But
Long.
It was long.